Live.
Hey,
Hey, live from
yes.
our homes. This is Wooting Live because that's the new title that we're having instead of being in China.
Oh no, I updated to such live stream, much fun. Oh no.
Wel- Welcome to the live stream, to the Wooting live stream. And we have, okay, I could say it, but who knows? We have so much to show. No, but we do because last time we had the live stream, we were in China and we were already updating on a couple of things. And today we have something new to show, and we have some interesting developments, which is live stream exclusive information. Before we make any big update about it, so this live stream is going to be good, right, Eric?
Yes, it's going to be very good. How is everyone doing in the chat? I mean, I guess we're doing pretty fine. You're back in Taiwan, back home. I'm still in the Netherlands.
I'm very happy to be back in Taiwan and have a couple of normal day schedules. But also, I haven't shared this actually. Planning to go back again in November, but then also on a personal note to visit my wife's father.
Oh.
So he's actually in Dongguan also, in Dongguan area, and works at a plastic injection factory.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been to his factory yet. And his wife, I shit you not, his wife. So yeah, my wife's mother.
Your mother-in-law.
My mother-in-law. Oh yeah. Oh, this is how distant I am from her actually. Okay, my mother-in-law has never visited my father-in-law's factory or seen his workplace, and he's already been working there for about 20 years. Yeah.
Jesus.
So yeah,
how's my audio now? I boosted a little bit. Should be better, right? Oh, that's pretty exciting though.
Yeah, so we're thinking about going to his factory in Dongguan and then bringing my mother-in-law with us, and then we can visit him and visit some other area also. And of course, I'll grab the opportunity to visit a couple other factories.
But so your father-in-law works at a injection factory?
Plastic injection factory, yeah. So they do all the plastic injection there. They also make the molds. Plastic injection molds.
Why don't we make the bottom cases there? It's so dumb.
Because they
Family
do
discount.
big customers. They do like big customers like HP, Asus, Dell, and do much more complicated products, so to say. I don't think we're able to. I think we're too small.
Okay, but let's
who knows?
Get going.
Yeah. We checked chat here, huh?
Yeah,
I saw
chat is shy.
Chat is shy? Yeah. Have we thrown that we're live on Twitter yet?
It should be. I also thought next year, New Year, everybody's always asking for nudes. We should really make a nude calendar.
Holy shit. I think once it really happens, everybody is going to be so turned off. Yeah, he'll be asking us the opposite. He'll start making the opposite request.
A wood calendar, man. That's we should do it. So like with keycap, like how would you say it? Hiding our nipples.
Oh my god.
Then we should send it like to all the reviewers we know. Man, that's so good.
I don't know if it's like good PR. Like it's so.
Well,
it will be so weird.
I mean, it's great,
good
right?
mark.
We are with. Let's not count Kevin in because I mean, Kevin still has some sort of dignity. But let's say the three of us will do it. They're like 4 seasons. We can each have like 4 months in every season. Like you can have like an autumn and a spring and a winter version. Oh, that would be great.
Jesus.
Great ideas on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I got a little bit distracted because I was looking for the Twitter post that is there since 8 minutes ago, and then I saw something about the Digma keyboards, an update that I was looking forward to. Yeah, these guys. Have we ever talked about Digma keyboards before? I don't think we have.
Digma? Did we talk about Digma before?
Yeah.
Well, I think we named him a couple of times.
So Digma keyboard is basically a split keyboard. Should I call it 60%? I forgot what exactly how it is. Let's see. Yeah, it's a split 60% keyboard with a couple extra buttons that you would otherwise not have. That's how I'll just put it. We last Computex we talked with the engineer, and it's crazy what their process is and what they're going through with making this product. And they're now in this like phase where they have to do the mass production. But as usual, when you're doing the first mass production, there's so much things that come up that you didn't expect to happen, and then you're just like hot fixing a lot of stuff and looking at ways to solve it or to filter it, or depending on what it is. So they just brought out an update. I think it's starting to roll. I know the guy is already stuck there for like a third week now.
Jesus.
Yeah. So very.
The only thing each time when somebody at Wooting like names Digma, the only thing instantly I get in my head is like the Lewis guy, right? The Fnatic head coach back in the day when Fnatic was in its prime. That was also the day when I was like every week I was watching the LCS from League of Legends, and Fnatic was my favorite
team. I didn't
team.
follow.
And
oh, okay.
So I'm a big fanboy of him.
I didn't even know. I still don't know. Is that Digmas then? Was that his nickname? I don't know.
No. Delor? I think it was sort of Spanish. Right.
Yeah. He's the CEO of the company is Spanish guy and ex League of Legends whatever coach and player or something. Yeah. So I've never talked to him, so I don't know too much about him. But I feel also with all the updates, the engineer guy is the guy that really, jumps out because he's very, he presents everything and goes for everything with you, which is really cool. And that's also the guy we met at Computex. So anyway,
the guy on the left might be cold, but the guy on the right is colder.
Oh!
Okay, let's get down to business. What do we have today?
Okay.
We have wrist rest. Wrist rest.
So
let's continue on wrist rest. Right where we left off the last live stream.
Oh, is that where we left off from last live stream?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do some small product update, and then we can show some new Lekker stuff, and then we can talk a little bit about what a decision that we're making, which is still working out, or still, how do I say that? Which still is in process, and we'll see what the result will be. Okay. So first the wrist rest. So, right, you can show pictures, right? Because I don't have the packaging here.
From the packaging?
Yes, because on the wrist rest, we made a new color sample, because this color sample, I think we already showed it in the last live stream. We actually showed the other color samples on the last live stream. But this is not the right color, actually. But I've been using the wrist rest now for over a week. With, let's say, with the right hardness and material for over a week. And I've not been using it with a Wooting keyboard, I have to admit, because I don't want to use a full-size keyboard, and my 10 kilos has been on the side there for a while, and I just wanted to see how it works with other keyboard. Am I allowed to say that?
Full size for life, guys. Full size for life.
I won't lie. but I change up keyboards very often. So, but anyway, it's been working really great with other keyboard that I have here. With other keyboard that I have here, and that's also the goal of the Ristvest, that it doesn't only work for Wooting keyboards, but also other keyboards. So I'm very happy it also works with this keyboard pretty well, and it's a quite pleasant experience. It looks really great also. So for the Ristvest project, everything is still going according to schedule, and we will make an official announcement about the release date of the Ristvest. We noticed there were pretty much questions also about it. And when will it release again, Erik?
December. It's we aim for a December release at least before Christmas, and I think the great thing about this product is it will be our first product that won't go into an extensive long amount of time of pre-orders. So probably we will open a shop page, I think, when the wristbands are being shipped to Europe and US, and they go by air. So probably when you can place orders, you will receive the wrist rest within 2 weeks, and once we have them, it will be like the next day or the day after, depending on where you live. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited for it.
And this will be, even though it's not a whole keyboard, of course, it is for us the first product that's immediately available when we announce it, which is a new thing. I think the biggest obstacle is to afford such a production beforehand, and this is something that's more affordable than doing all the keyboards. So we'll have more information coming out about the Ristvest over the next
I found some images on Slack.
Weeks.
Let's
Good.
hope.
Okay,
Let's see. So this is I think the TKL version and a prototype packaging we still have.
There's a new picture with or is that on Slack also? Or is that on...
There is a newer picture of the packaging in.
Okay, good.
So don't really look at the print, because that's still something that's going to change. But the thing that will I'm not focusing on the wristbands now, right? I'm focusing on the packaging. The thing that will stay the same in the packaging is that the printing will be white, and the box will be made of this craft paper material. Because we thought, like, hey, this wristband will last you a lifetime, and we really care about the environmentals, so we only used recycled cardboard here.
Shut up.
It's so funny, because I've showed this picture to a lot of people, or like the packaging, and they said like, whoa, that's so much better than your other pictures. It's so environmental friendly. I'm like, how do you even know if this is environmental friendly? Because it looks like craft paper. I mean, it's so weird. But the thing is, like, with this packaging, the packaging will be glued shut on both sides, and the wristbands will be inside. And the cool thing how you unpack it is with the tear strip. So you can... How does this work? Oh, here we go. It's another close-up picture. Here it goes in the packaging. And here you can see the tear strip. So the idea of the tear strip is like you tear it open and you can sort of break it open and slide your wristbands out. That's pretty cool. I really like this touch on the packaging.
Yeah.
It's a new sort of unboxing experience.
And this will be like the third version of the packaging, because the tear strip needed a lot of reiterations. Because when we made I still need to finish that, but when we made the vlog, we did a small intro to the packaging. It's not published yet, so you can't see it yet. But the first thing that went wrong, we felt like, okay, well, we're gonna record the whole like opening the packaging and doing the tearing, and then I started tearing it, and it just like ripped off like a whole piece of the paper and carton because it didn't tear easily enough. So it went through a couple of versions before it got to this state, and this one still needs to be double confirmed with a sample that we're receiving soon. Yeah.
But I'm excited about this packaging. I'm sometimes I'm even more excited about packaging than the actual product itself. Yeah.
So Erik, is it environmental friendly or not then?
What, the packaging?
Is what was asking. Yeah.
I mean, this packaging is, I think, the same amount of environmental friendly as our Wooting 1 and Wooting 2 packages. because most cardboard is made from recycled paper anyway. I think the only difference is now that we don't print the whole thing black, so that's a bit more environmental friendly. But I don't know, man. It's I think cardboard is in general not really environmental friendly.
Yeah.
Lots of people mistake it. Like also in the Netherlands within the supermarkets, you see it's even more often that these supermarkets remove like the plastic bags and include like these, I don't know, these carton bags or something, these paper bags. But down the line, it's less environmental friendly to create the paper bags and the plastic bags. It's really funny how it works.
It's all about perception.
I mean, the thing is, we aren't focused on making our products environmental friendly, but when we can, sure we will do. But it's not like our core business to improve the world this way.
Yeah.
I think that's the most honest answer I can
have
give.
to be honestly, when we're doing the research, now that I think about it, when we're doing the research or looking at options, it's not like there's like this, choose this like environmental friendly option, or this material is more eco-friendly or something like that. It's not like it's even an obvious option or an option you can choose from. I think you have to go out of your way to really find something that is actually environmental friendly. And then let's be very clear, actual environmental friendly, not looks environmental friendly.
And also the thing is you cannot make your whole supply chain environmental friendly, right? That's way too complex, and I don't think that there is
unless you own it, right? You can only choose the right services.
Else you just have to trust your suppliers and vendors.
Choose this packaging to burn down the planet. So at least with our packaging, it doesn't look like you're burning down the planet. And I saw Flemmy said about the tear strips. He said something. He finds that 99% of the tear strips suck. They always rip the packaging completely sideways. I think the artisan. We got the idea, or you got the idea from.
I can
artisan
rip one open from artisan.
Oh yeah,
I can
do
rip
it.
one open. Wait.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about the artisan one, and I don't know if we're gonna have it too, but let's say after you ripped it, the carton is very pointy.
I don't have that many tries left because I showed it Kevin a few times. So first, so this this is also pretty cool. So this is like the packaging from the artisan mousepad. So inside here is a mousepad, and the coolest thing is I think they also use it as a shipping box, right? That's the whole general idea.
This is also a shipping box, yeah.
So let me first glue this one shut.
Makes me think we can do exactly the same thing, but we can just add what's it called, like this clothing bag thing, or like a post mill bag or something. So you hide what's inside.
Here we go. That's how it works. Oh, okay, the end ripped off, but
oh no!
But overall, it's like a really nice tear. This packaging.
Yeah.
And I think that's also something we're aiming for.
It's much longer, also.
It's also much longer, but I think we can achieve it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see with this. I think what's also cool, I don't know if you guys removed it or not now that I think about it, but after you can tear it open, and it like tears the two sides and the front, but then the back is still there.
Yes.
But if you want to, you can actually how do you call that, nick off, or like you can break off the whole thing.
So here you can see it you pull from the top of the box, and then you pull it towards you over the whole front of the box, and then down the bottom of the box, and there it sort of stops. And here's sort of a ribble line where you can break the packaging open, so it's like a break point. And if you want, you can also tear that one off, or just leave it as is. Yeah.
So to me, it makes me just think about like breaking like
here,
chocolate bar or something.
This side is like folded and glued shut, like this whole area here. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I would love it if the I would love it if the shipping. This is from Tangings. I would love it if the shipping box was the internal box. It seems much more efficient. I hate opening a box just to open another box. Yeah, so uh, I understand. I understand what he means. It's especially when you have these big resellers they're standardizing things. So I haven't bought that much stuff from Amazon in my whole lifetime, but from Coolblue or from Boltocom in the past maybe. But then you would have like this extreme example. You would have a really big box, and you open the box, and it's really empty, and then there's like maybe a bunch of filling, and then there's that small box inside that you were looking for or that you bought, and
So I
it
think
really feels like a big waste. Yeah.
yeah, it's insane.
But I think for what will happen for us in the US, we won't be able to control it. It will definitely be a box in a box, probably. I don't think we have a lot of options there. But in Europe, we are able to use, if you only buy the wrist vest, we're able to use these mailer bags, like these printed mailer bags or white mailer bags or whatever.
Well,
whatever you use. We use it for clothing very often.
The thing is, let's say I think depending on the quality, and I haven't really pulled it myself, I think being the wrist rest being like one block of silicone and the packaging we could use it as a actual mailer thing. But the thing is, if you have like print on a packaging what it is, it's also easier to get stolen or lost by the post guy. So that's also something you want to avoid.
Yeah, you mean when you don't have anything around the box, right?
Mhm.
Or what?
That people easily
Yeah,
recognize
that's.
what it is, and then it's like, oh, this is Wooting wrist rest.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
super
yeah, yeah,
cool.
exactly.
I
Yeah, but
wanna do
that's
that.
why you have like these. It's called mailer bags, I think. It's like these
Verzendzakken.
kind of.
Plastic
Yeah,
verzendzakken.
it's kind of made. Yeah, it's made of that. Like they do it with clothing a lot. They put
Mhm.
clothing in it and ship it with it, and it's like very sturdy plastic in a way, which is not transparent, so you can't see what's inside.
Okay, Quinn is here, Calder.
Yeah.
Shouldn't talk about it anymore.
Okay. Gutsy she says adding Lisa, you're tearing me apart meme would be right. I do have to say.
Lisa, you're daring. I actually watched the movie once. It's horrible. Worst
Okay.
movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
But it's also addicting bad. It's crazy. Wow.
Oh yeah, right. What did you write down on it now? Just tear me, or did you take it away?
I think it will be tier 2 open.
Okay. Wrist. So that's the packaging. So that's like. Yeah, the tooling is getting started. We'll have a 10 kilos and a full size.
Yes.
Full size, we won't have the sample until tooling is ready. And then December, we're actually also writing a landing page with unique selling points, and that's where you could. Can the packaging be a unique selling point? I wonder.
I wonder as well.
We should definitely make it a thing where when people buy it, that they should record the tearing process.
The funniest thing that Kevin told me last week, and I also discussed it with you, about using the bottom of the wrist rest as an ice cube tray.
Oh right, yeah. No, we're definitely gonna have a social post about that. I'm gonna do it here with this one. Yeah.
It's so. I thought it was so hilarious, but then again, it's probably not really food safe.
No, you shouldn't do it also because the coating will get damaged, right? But it's definitely possible to do. Possible. And when the coating is gone, it's still just fine, but you won't have that like nice. No, it smells like nothing. That nice touch to it.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Listen.
Oh, you have it there? No way! No way! Why do you have it? How? Oh, nice. Yes. It's also a surprise
Should
for
I
me.
just keep it to that? I'll do it one more time. Here we go.
Wait. Turning up the music. 1 sec. Okay. Do it. Yes. Nice.
It's so nice. It's such a cool experience. I still have to try it with something inside though, now I think about it. I wonder if stuff starts popping out.
Okay, so this was the live stream, guys. Thanks everyone for watching.
Well, what does chat think that was? What was that?
I know what it is.
What was that? God damn it. What am I hearing right now? Yeah, exactly.
It's the future.
Tell us. What did you just hear? Apparently it was partially me. I don't understand that one. Empty inside. Okay, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, so no, for real, what do you think it was? Because I don't even know if we should be showing it at all. Should we be showing something about it?
I think it's still too early to show it, but I think it's also cool to show this process. Let me put you on full screen because it's still from a China trip. You know, super big, Aldo.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go then. USB-C cables in store when? Wait, whoa. Ho. Cables? Talking about cables? Maybe we will have it in the store.
Do you have cable samples there?
Well, right now we have cables ready for replacement, so you can get a cable replacement if you want. But cool cables, ho.
Ho.
Maybe will be in the store, ho. Okay, here we go. So, I never noticed you ask it consistently in every live stream.
We
okay.
always ignore it too.
Yeah, but if you mean the USB-C connector, that you can replace the Wooting one USB-C connector, and that one being in the store. Actually, it's stupid. I have replacements here. Actually, I could have just buy more and then throw it on the store and just ship it.
It sells for like $10 with 20 euros shipping cost, easy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like free money.
Yeah. Now we can do the normal post and ask a small amount for it.
Okay.
Quinn
Already spoiled it, so just show it.
Oh, Quinn, you suck. Okay, so we've been working on the Lekker Edition packaging because Lekker Edition is, of course, steaming full ahead, and it was this box that you just heard, and it was the opening process of this box where you have this sound, and this is a totally new style of box that we've never done before. So you can see it's kind of like a drawer. It's like literally a drawer now to think about it.
So you could stick it under your desk and actually use this as a drawer.
Yeah, oh yeah, holy shit, that's actually, yeah, you could actually. I do think you have to do something to decrease the suction because you'll just pull it off. But you could totally do that though. But this is the first sample, or what we call the white box sample of the Lekker Edition packaging. So basically this is the structure of the packaging.
So let's talk a little bit about packaging. I think since beginning this year we already started working on Lekker Edition packaging, to be honest. Having like all these crazy ideas and try to figure out what would work best, and in the end I think we all agreed that we really like the drawer style box that we have now. The sample you have there.
Yes.
And then it was up to Kevin to actually design the box and make it work and find a sample of a manufacturer that can make actually the box. And clearly due to I think a conversion mistake, the box is a little bit bigger than it should be.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit too wide.
So this is like the first actual sample we made of this box, I guess. So it's a little bit, with packaging it's always trial and error. That's something we noticed, and you just have to go back and forth a few times with the manufacturer before it's like really final and you have exactly what you wanted. And as soon as you know like the dimensions and you know what the packaging should be, then it's the time that you add like print and colors and text and whatever to the box.
And that's why we call this the white box sample first, because you're only checking structure and nothing about the graphics.
Can you
And
tap
then once
it?
the structure
Like
is
knock on
done,
it?
tap it.
Oh, nice.
Maybe something you might have not noticed or realized is that this is not your regular carton box or something. This is like what would be a good example?
Apple.
I can do the lame example. When you buy an Apple box, when you buy an Apple product, it's usually packaged in a quite sturdy carton box, and this is the same kind of box. So it's a very sturdy box. It's very thick, and it's very it feels very nice.
I think the difference with Apple box is Apple has like this little bit of cloth on the inside.
Did I get it all out? Yeah, there we go. This is a shitty sample I still have here.
I really like it. I wish I had a box like that. I would go all the like.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's also great. Add 2 holes into it. Glue a speaker into one of the holes and enjoy the sound deeper. That's.
Whoa! Whoa! Wow! We should put the instructions for that online or something. Somebody should do that because most likely the first thing what will happen with us is we're like, okay, how are we gonna drill a hole in there? Oh.
Well, but these kind of ideas I really like them because there's one thing with, I think packaging besides like protecting and shipping the product to you and it's like the core business of packaging, right? Making sure the product arrives safe at your place. But I think everything you can do extra with the packaging is like something, a cool added experience. So actually making a drawer from it, that's a fun idea. Or making a speaker from it, that's also pretty cool. That's, we should really make a website what you can do with packaging.
Yeah.
So you can save.
No, but this I think especially with this one, it's really great as a. You could definitely use it as a drawer, but you do have to like reduce the suction with a hole or something. If you're going to use it, because otherwise, however you stick it on the desk, it will drop.
I mean, if you make some holes in the back, you know, where air can flow free. Nice.
Oh yeah, right. P2 Edwards also said a hole would decrease the suction.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's Lekker Edition packaging, and I don't know if we're going to use that kind of packaging again, or it will only be with Lekker Edition. We haven't decided that yet, at all. I'm really in love with it though. But this is, for now, exclusively Lekker Edition packaging.
I think the coolest thing about its packaging is that we had something else that sort of looked like it. The switch box. I still like the idea of the switch box.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But this one isn't like as tight. It's like, ugh. It's like, bleh. It's like.
No, but we had to kill the idea also because they quoted us $4 per piece on that switch box, which was incredible. It's holy shit, $4 per piece on that kind of packaging. And I can tell you that this Lekker Edition box packaging is cheaper than the switch box packaging.
Interesting.
So I don't know how they did that.
And this one is even from lower quality, to be honest. You can see folding lines, glue lines.
Oh, right. I mean, it should be somewhere here too.
That one is, well, it is pretty pristine.
Oh, this one is pretty well done, actually.
Yeah.
Look at it. Yeah.
You can still see it, if you really want, on the top, for example. And even on the inside, they sort of laid the paper over the little flap that's on the inside. That's also pretty insane.
Yeah. Yeah, so okay. That was Lekker Edition packaging. That white box somehow reminds me of Microsoft packaging for Surface, etc. I've never seen that packaging though.
Wait, but if we can make the Lekker packaging, why can't we make the switch boxes? I still like the idea.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember why it was. I think we got a quotation for 1,000 pieces, and that was like $4 per piece for the Switch boxes. I don't know if maybe that was for a lower quantity, maybe that's why. But this is because Lekker Edition, we're only going to make 1,000 of them, and we got a quotation for 1,200 piece, if I'm right. So and the 200 more is a secret. No, I don't know. I just it's just the minimum they would be able to do. Yeah, but it's funny because packaging is one of those things where you can actually save a lot of money on when it comes to these kind of products. That's also why with more budget products, you see very simple to very, very simple self packaging or reused packaging from other products. Because then what counts is how much dollar or dollar cents you can save per piece. Okay. The surface packaging consists of multiple layers of different materials. They even add plastic strips into the corners to strengthen them within the material. It's so robust, it's hard to tear apart. Holy shit. Then they spent quite some attention on the packaging.
I think it's also important. I mean, I can imagine the surface isn't that cheap, and packaging experience is part of the deal.
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of like with a MacBook. When you buy a MacBook, you can see how small the packaging is relatively to the product that's inside. And when you open it, you can see there is some they put some put some real thought into how to pack it as efficiently as possible. I remember what is it? You have like the box itself, but that box ships into another shipping box, like a carton box. Mm-hmm. And that carton box, I remember it had a really interesting structure inside, which it would fold in a certain way, so it would create angles and hold the inner box inside very well, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, besides being an Apple fan, I really dig their products. Well, the packaging.
Oh, you know what we should do with our brand, Erik?
What should we do with our brand?
We should be more like Apple.
Okay.
Isn't that like that's why Apple is always such a lame example, because everybody's like trying to do the Apple.
But I think Apple is a good example because they make like decent products, in my opinion, most of them, but they upsell them like crazy, and that's because they offer such a great software experience, and that's also like I think like probably half of the thing you paid for the product is actually for the software, and of course profit as well. But Johnny Ive had a big salary, I guess.
Not anymore, though.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. Okay, let's jump to a next Lekker thing that I have lying down here.
What is it?
So,
can we guess what it is by sound?
Well, okay, sure. Let's try. I got two pieces, so I'm able to make this sound.
Sounds horrible.
It's not as sexy at all.
But what is it?
It's a bottom case. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's a Lekker Edition bottom case.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So what we've been doing is, well, how am I going to say this? From our original, is this the original one? Yeah, so this is a sound. I don't think the light is here. My camera keeps changing its saturation and everything, so the colors are not really getting through well. Hopefully you can see this, but this is from our first sample bottom case. And you can see it's extremely blue. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera. There's a big delay on that side. Yeah, okay. Okay, so it's extremely blue, and actually it's way too blue for what we're looking for. And you can see it also on the webpage, the pre-order webpage, that the pictures that we made of this keyboard is also a bit too, everything is a bit too blue. And it does have a nice touch to it for it being so blue, but as soon as it gets some light, it pops out too much, and it's not what we wanted. It's not what we wanted. It's not the vibe we were looking for.
Not the vision.
Not the vision
for this product.
Yeah. So we is this the other one? Oh yeah. So we started making new samples and tried to get closer to. We picked actually a new Pantone color, which was much closer to what we envisioned, and that is now 289C. I don't know what it was before, but that just didn't work out, as you can see. So now this is the new bottom case color, and I'm guessing on camera it's going to be almost black, but when you see it with your own eyes, it's like a navy blue, and you can clearly see it's navy blue, and the more light there is, the more blue pops out of it. We had a sample made before the final sample, getting closer to it. I don't know if we can see a difference then.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a 289 also, but a little bit more saturated. There's a bit too much blue inside. I need to check the camera. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, let me skip my. Let me change my camera here.
It looks like they have different sizes.
Yeah, it's the same size.
Okay. Well, you can see the difference, but yeah, the one is just getting more light than the other, so it's a bit unfair. And like you said, like your camera white balance keeps changing. Yeah, my camera white balance. Yeah, you can see it from my face. Sometimes I have a really cool skin, and then so it's really hard to see on camera. What camera are you actually using?
Yeah, the popular Logitech one that we're all using, but I haven't changed the settings. Everything's on auto, I think.
Yes.
So but you can see here there's a big difference in how popping the blue is. Yeah. So that's a major difference. I don't have a dollar store camera. It's just that I didn't do any of the settings. It keeps changing. So I'm very satisfied with final color. It's exactly what I had in mind myself, and you don't have it yet there, right, Eric? I think you don't have it there yet.
I never get samples. I mean,
no, you never get samples. So
we also tried to send over wrist dress. Got somewhere lost in the void. Ooh, too bad, Eric. Too bad. It's
lost. Rainbow wrist vest when? Oh shit, we didn't think about that.
Rainbow.
Do you want a rainbow color one?
I think we want something with sparkles inside, right?
Yeah, you could add glitter to it, I guess. But we'll see. I'm super psyched about the wrist vest. I'm so happy with this product. It's so much more simple. Oh.
It is. It is, right? I'm so surprised. Like, okay, we have the mold. We can do production. Oh, done. Okay, what else needs to be done? Nothing. We just make it and packaging.
Yeah.
No drama. No electronics.
No drama, especially. Oh my gosh. Yeah, RGB wrist vest. Holy shit. What do you... Don't make these demands! You want a cable sticking out of your wrist vest? I mean, if you would ever integrate RGB to this, I guess you could just make like a separate pad you can put the wrist vest on top of, and that could have like RGB on the sides, and then whoa, it's RGB.
Do you know what it is? I'm not really against the whole RGB thing, because if you look at some setups from pictures and everything, it looks like so nice, because they use like a certain blue or a purple with red or a blue with red and a whole setup, and it looks like everything comes together. It feels really great. And then there are people that like, oh, let's turn on everything to the max, and and it just becomes a little bit of a meme joke thing. And most of the setups are like horrendous with the RGB lights, but there are a few there where it really complements it. And I think even though we see more and more RGB every day in all kinds of products, it's also getting very old here.
Wait, we're getting it. This is the kind of question I want to see. But that's just because I want to promote the wrist vest, okay? Can you put it in a washing machine, or do you just wipe it with a cloth? So, Erik, what is the temperatures this wrist vest can handle?
Up to 400 degrees Celsius. And minus
400, really?
And minus 42.
So, wait, where is the cloth? Shit. Okay, anyway. Okay. So it can take quite a beating, and you can put it in extreme temperatures, including the dishwasher. The only thing that I don't know for sure yet is the coating that's over the wrist vest, because there is a coating over the wrist vest to give it a more silky smooth feeling, so it's nicer when you touch it. And if you put it in the refrigerator, well, not the refrigerator, but if you put it in the freezer, most likely the coating will how do you call that?
Crack.
Wear out faster. Yeah. Or crack. Yeah. So I don't know if you put it in a dishwasher, if the coating will wear off faster or not.
I don't think a dishwasher is the problem, but it's like the chemicals that are in the dishwasher. So you have like the glansreiniger and the salt and like the actual tablets you're going to use.
Salt. Yeah.
That kind of things that can interfere with it. So I wouldn't recommend putting it in a dishwasher. And not for the silicone, but the top coating that can get sort of maybe damaged. But that's something we can test. But if you just, rinse it under water, and even you can use a light soap, I guess, like dishwasher soap, something that degreases.
Yeah, soap is no problem.
And just rub it off with a nice cloth, and just let it dry, and don't like rub the, how would you say it, the water from it, so you don't get these water stains, but just let it dry nicely. Then you have like a very nice product that will never get old.
Yeah. Yeah, and even when you get to the point where there's no more coating over it, it's not like the whole product's unusable. It's not like it gets sticky or whatever. Not at all. The only difference is that it will have a bit more friction, meaning when you put your hand on it, you can feel
it's not so smooth. The top will be a bit rougher. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But then I think if you remove the top coating, then the actual silicone is food proof or food safe.
Yes, that's true. Then you can start baking cookies with it.
Oh, that's also possible. Oh my god, it's sick. So.
So we have the pattern here in the bottom. You can do ice cubes. You can make cake. Yeah, but you do have to. Well, you shouldn't do it and then eat it. You would first have to remove the coating from the wrist vest, and then you can totally eat it. It will be just like same kind of silicone. Nice. So we have another question from Elfwin. What colors are available? And so Erik was expecting. No. So Erik was expecting to receive 2 samples, one of them being black, because there will be black, of course, because it's a standard color. But
not really.
In my humble opinion, only black is really freaking boring, and we have a sample which is not this one, but of the 289C, so it's like again a navy blue, but we call it midnight blue.
Okay, so since we introduced the whole midnight blue, the 289C, Carl is like obsessed with it, like everything should be it. Even like his t-shirt is the same color now. And Carl is like, wrist vest? Oh, we're gonna use it 289, no problem. But Carl just lost his mind.
Oh! Yeah, well, I have to be honest, yes, I'm in love. I've gotten a bit in love with the 289C color. And I want to apply to everything. I think it's a much nicer color than purely black. So I can't lie about that. But Calder, you also prefer 60% keyboard, so your opinion is flawed. Lies. Actually, yes, I don't prefer 60% keyboards over 10 keyless keyboards. I do prefer 65% keyboards or 70% keyboards over 10 keyless or 60%. I like the things in between because I want my arrow keys.
I just want a numpad. I don't care for the rest.
And no numpad. Don't need a numpad. Are there 2 versions for the 1 and for the 2? Yes, there are 2 versions. There's going to be a 10 keyless one, which is this one, which is a perfect fit for the Wooting 1, but it works with every 10 keyless keyboard. It might just be a little bit wider or a little bit shorter depending on what kind of 10 keyless keyboard you're using, and the full size is the same thing. So the full size fits perfectly with the Wooting 2, and you can use it with any full size keyboard It'll be just a little bit wider or a little bit shorter depending on the keyboard model you have.
Yeah, so with the
But
wrist rest, we had this vision in mind, and it's from I think Trump called it like America First, right? So we were like Wooting first, all other keyboards second, and that's the kind of approach we took with the wrist rest. It should fit the Wooting keyboards first, and all other keyboards second.
Yeah. Did the magnetic connector make it into the product? Whoa, that's a good question, because our original version was actually a 10 keyless wrist rest together with what we call a numpad wrist rest, and you could like disconnect them from each other. So you would have one product, but you would have two pieces, and they would connect with each other with a magnet. And though the concept for this was good, we realized that opening a mold for this small part, the cost was equal to opening a mold for this big part. So then came the question, well, why don't we might just make a whole separate one, which is like the whole full-sized size, and instead of just doing a numpad one, because the molding cost is the same anyway. So that's kind of where we just split the idea and simplified it, and now we just have this solid piece.
And I think the difficult part was, let's say you have like a cut in the middle, right? So you can like sort of snap it off with magnets so it fits a Wooting one. Then one side will probably look different than the other side, because now the sides have a unique feeling that sort of complements the whole Wooting keyboard. And with that thing, we couldn't really achieve it. Plus another thing that was probably a downside is if you pick it up on one side, maybe the magnetic connector would go loose or flip off, or if you pick it up on one side, it's too heavy, and there were too much moving parts, and it would just overcomplicate the product. And now it's like nice, simple, clean. And
Elfin goes even further back to this idea where there was a version that snapped onto the keyboard. We actually did make a little prototype where we put magnets inside the keyboard and magnets inside a really whatever wrist rest from I don't know whatever brand, and then looked at how that would work.
I still have a piece of the brand from the wrist rest we used actually here.
Oh really?
Next to me. Well, it's like only with the brand logo. That's the first thing we cut off.
What killed the whole idea?
What killed our idea? Because then we need to reiterate the Wooting 1 to Wooting 2 to add magnets inside the product. Even though
you could add it yourself.
Even though you could add it yourself.
DIY project.
It was a really nice concept, to be honest, because it fitted the prototype we had. It snapped nice to it, and you could even. It was so sturdy you could, almost lift the keyboard up with it and do it.
Well, those mics were really strong, though.
Yeah, but I think in the end it was going to be too expensive and too crazy to add like the magnets inside a silicone or any other material without like actually showing it. And then the idea came like we were focused pretty much on silicone wrist rests since we ever saw the Ergo Docs one, I guess, because we really fell in love with it. And there aren't that many silicone wrist rests for other keyboards. And then we decided like, hey, we're just gonna make a wrist rest especially for a Wooting keyboard without the magnets, because some people like to put the wrist rest a little bit away from the keyboard. Other people like to have it on top of the keyboard. And with magnets you only have like one configuration, and with this you're a bit more modular. And because it's silicone, it won't move anyway. Just it's as sturdy as a Wooting keyboard on your desk. And I think we also wanted to give the world something of. I mean, if you don't have a Wooting one, it doesn't mean you're not bad, or if you don't own a Wooting keyboard. But we just wanted to give something to those people as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was also important that the wrist rest was not exclusively for Wooting keyboards, because that would put ourselves also in a very difficult position, because your market is limited to everybody that owns a Wooting keyboard, while at the same time you're putting so much effort into a good product, and we'd want other keyboard users also to use it, because it's another way how we can introduce our brand and our products to people that don't own the keyboard yet. So that's why we also need to have keycaps, Erik.
They're just laughing off the chat, like Godstream asked like for where to put push to talk, and he said like, oh, I always use F. And then Kreutzfeld, Oh yeah, it's got stream for things. I don't know about messing stuff up, but I think it's always funny to see like F for paying respect. Oh, it's such a dumb game, yeah. I need caps lock as backspace. That's probably a Finnish thing.
That's a Tino thing.
That's a Tino thing.
Others, I know from others that they'd want to have it as control, because that's also how they do it with the HKKB, I think. It's a control key.
I don't know. I just use backspace as backspace, and caps lock as caps lock.
It's a Colmac thing. Oh, that's why. I never realized that was the case on Colmac. Talking about binding things, no, it's too early.
But it won't be long.
Yeah, but it won't be long. Yeah. Okay, so we are getting close to an hour. We went through a lot of the update things. We still have a lot of work ahead of us, and we were originally was planning to make an update today for the Lekker Edition concerning the color samples, and too much administration work because it's the final quarter and some other things, so little delay there.
A weird question. Who owns a Wooting 1 in chat and wants to turn off N-key rollover?
Oh, right.
I'm just curious. Who would want to do it? And if you want to do it, why? Everybody's schooling, oh, what's N-key rollover?
Because there's going to be an update. Nobody's interested in N-key rollover.
Nobody's interested. Probably everyone's like, huh? N-key rollover? What's that?
Okay, we'll give some time. So
why do you give up?
You have 6-key rollover, and you have N-key rollover, and then maybe you want to turn off N-key rollover and just use 6-key rollover, and you would want a hotkey to do that.
Okay,
that'd be so good.
So Carlo, exactly what is N-key rollover? Maybe you should explain. Very simple, very basic.
Okay, so basically, when your keyboard when you buy a Razer Huntsman, you get a 6-key rollover keyboard, which means that your keyboard can only register 6 keys at the same time, at most, and not more. But when you buy a Wooting keyboard, you get N-key rollover, meaning that you can press all the keyboard buttons at the same time, and they'll all be registered at the same time. That's the difference between N-key rollover and 6-key rollover.
Yes.
But there's a problem.
So who wants to turn off N-key rollover on a Wooting keyboard for 6-key rollover? There isn't anything to gain. You're just like giving up instead of like pressing all 110 keys at the same time in a Wooting 2 to 6 keys at the same time.
I see that P2 Edwards is on the right track though. If I turn off N-key row, do I get more precision on inputs? Question mark? No, you don't. It doesn't matter. Or more compatibility with OS. Ooh, getting closer. Yeah. So should we? You wanna share it, Eric?
I mean, there's nothing to share. I was just curious if anybody ever had problems with N-key RO, N-key rollover, and really wanted to turn it off. Because even if I'm messing around in my BIOS, it still registers N-key rollover and uses it. Never had an issue with it.
Well, okay. Use Wooting on boot menus. Well, because you just said something that not everybody might be aware of, is when you start the PC, you can boot your BIOS, which is kind of like a little OS on your motherboard, and there you can change a bunch of different settings. The problem is that this little that the BIOS, usually older versions or older motherboards don't accept Enki rollover. Oh my god, what am I saying? It doesn't accept Enki rollover input. So what they do accept though is 6-key rollover, because that's let's say a standard that's been here for like forever. So you might want to be able to turn off Enki roll so you can use 6-key rollover. But we should share about a more specific reason why you want to have 6-key rollover. Because if you live in South Korea and you have a South Korean bank, you are obligated to use a certain plugin to log into your bank. And that plugin is issued by Microsoft and you're only able to use it with Internet Explorer. And this plugin only accepts 6-key rollover. It does not accept Enki roll. So if you have a Wooting keyboard in South Korea, and you want to access your bank, South Korean bank, you're not able to use a Wooting keyboard because it doesn't output 6-key roll.
I think Godstreams make a good point. I did know it's a problem with bootloaders like grep when typing in my passphrase for unlocking the SSD. I can imagine with like some OSs, some use cases, it's not always useful to have Enki rollover on. So that's why we are going to add something to the utility where you can turn on or turn off the Enki rollover. But for now we only keep it in the Korean version of the utility. There are multiple, so international, so many languages. So we're only going to use it for the Korean version at this point. And you can actually with a future firmware update use like function plus a F key to turn it on or off. So that's pretty useful. Like let's say you're in the BIOS, you can like turn it off and then your keyboard works as a 6-key rollover. So that's pretty cool. But we're not going to force it on Western users because in most cases, I think like 99.9% of the time, you're just losing performance if you turn off Enki rollover.
I guess you won't notice too much of a difference necessarily unless you're really fast in typing also. But
do you know what's horrible? I think Logitech keyboards have it. They have like a also like ghosting or like a 16-key rollover, like really weird. And then you can press like all like Q, W, E, R, T, A, S, like everything at the same time. But you cannot press Shift and Spacebar at the same time.
Whoa, huh?
And that's horrible because if you're like a Overwatch player and you play Winston, a lot of times you want to use Shift and Spacebar in quite quick succession, like jump and then use Shift to launch yourself. But I just could never do it on a Logitech keyboard because I literally had to stop using the spacebar before I could actually use Shift.
Wait, are you talking about your G15 keyboard?
No. I'm talking about like a friend of mine who plays Overwatch. Was
oh, okay.
Sometimes a game at his place and it just sucks.
No, but I think there will be a beta out very soon with the 6-key RO function inside. But again, it's only for Korean. If you have the utility in Korean language, you'll see it in the utility. If you don't, then there is still. I think you can still access it with the function key, right? Mm-hmm. If you know what the key is, but you just cannot check or see if it's on or off at this moment, right? Only if you have the utility.
But probably
in
should
Korean
have
language.
A indicator light or something.
Indicator.
The same
goes we should add that. Yeah.
Same goes for scroller. Oh. There was one key that also didn't have a...
Yeah. So let's go a bit back because from average school, the Wooting 2 is not complete yet because that damn numlock indicator is still not doing what people expect it to do. Or wait, the clear lock indicators. Yeah.
I think it does exactly
is...
what it should be. You just have to get used to it.
Nino Card, you are late and you're not too late. It really depends on how you look at it. You definitely missed the most exciting part, which was Lekker packaging and wrist rest stuff. What was I wanted to say? Oh right, yeah. So I do have to say that we know over the last couple, I don't know how many months, right? But we haven't made any significant updates to the utility, and we've mostly done bug fix updates, and now this kind of like small thing again with the NKRO. And that's because we've been really busy with the Lekker Edition among a couple other things. and we've now come to a point where there's still a lot of work to do for Lekker Edition, but we're also getting to a point where we know and we really want to work on the utility and start releasing in the next big future, right, Erik?
I think it will be here before December, if it's up to you, Jeroen. Halfway December.
Oh my god, Erik, don't be so goddamn positive about it. Erik's timelines always suck.
No. I talked with Jeroen about it early this month, and Jeroen said, well, we can have it up and running in 2 months. Because the framework is already there. It just needs to have a interface, which we already have a clear idea for, but we just now need to make the time to actually make it. And I think there's time coming up.
Well, if we look at what's now happening with the Lekker development, there is definitely going to be a big time gap, which we can make good use of. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, any plans for in firmware key remapping?
So, yeah, let's say this is not an official statement, and this is just indication to say that the next big the next big software update is going to be worked on. Like Erik said, the framework is already there, and we plan to release it then in December. But we still need to officially announce and share about it. But just most important part is that we are back on the software work, and next big thing is coming. And yes, Gutsy stream, that has to do with key remapping, because we'll have the full programmability in the next update coming out. And the framework, meaning it's already in the firmware, full programmability. And there's just a couple of tweaks that need to be made, but especially an interface and the utility needs to be made. So, looking forward to that update.
Daiko also said something.
Long awaited.
We had a problem at recent tournament where after my crusade a bunch of people had Wooting keyboards. Nice. The problem is that separate Wooting keyboards have the same ID during games, which means the keyboards act in unison and not separately.
You have to explain that a little bit. Also, hi Daiko. Thanks for joining the stream.
I think if everybody used like the analog and you use like 6 keyboards with the same PC, they all will be controller 1, right? Is that the issue?
No. Well, no, that's why we need a little bit more information, because the first thing, of course, is everybody using the keyboard on the same PC, or is it in the same game and there's something else checking the keyboard IDs, or? Because when you use the same PC but you're connecting multiple Wooting keyboards to the PC, that might be an issue. Same PC. Okay, there we go. So, you can't use the utility, for example, if you use the same PC and this multiple Wooting 1 keyboards on the same PC. You can't open the utility, if I'm right, because it doesn't know which keyboard to focus on, because it doesn't support multiple keyboard devices at the same time.
I think at this point you can actually, but it's a bit
the utility.
Yeah, but it's a bit hit or miss, because it sort of takes.
You don't know which keyboard you're going to use.
Yeah,
right?
it just takes one keyboard as a lucky guess. But I think if you actually save to it, it will actually save to all the keyboards. If it's like the same.
I never tried. But then when it comes to, let's say, X input and the whole controller stuff, you're definitely going to get into the issue where you have controller assignments, player assignments. But then you mentioned that all the keyboards have the same ID, right?
That shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, because we actually did something with the USB IDs not crazy long ago. Let's see.
So it recognizes that the keyboards are different, but they use raw input to find the inputs. But for some reason the IDs are written as if they are unique keyboards, but they are both considered the same keyboard once you start inputting.
That is, I'm just gonna throw this on. This is a Jeroen question, because we actually, I think we changed the VID not too long ago, and now you see in the VID it's a unique Wooting VID. But I don't know what kind of impact it has on your specific case. Because I'm also not sure they use raw input to find the inputs. But for some reason, the IDs are written as if they are in unique keyboards, but they are considered the same keyboard once you start inputting.
I think that the only thing we need to know is like how many Wooting keyboards did you hooked up to one PC, and what game were you trying to play? And I think with that information we just shove it to Jeroen, and Jeroen can figure it out.
Yeah, you can throw it. If you could just throw this on Discord, you can throw this to me on Discord. And again, just let me know which game and what the scenario is. So for example, we're plugging in multiple Wooting 1 keyboards into the same PC, and what you're trying to achieve in the game or with having multiple keyboards connected, and then we can take it from there. Can you control multiple Wooting products in the utility, like 1 and 2? Once you broaden your product palette, that should be useful. Yeah, it's interesting. No, Elfwin and Daiko on Discord, I mean, you can DM me direct with this specific question. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correct, actually, now that I think about it. So for Elfwin, you can't control multiple keyboard devices or multiple devices in the utility yet. And I don't think that will be an option until the point that we have also a mouse, I guess, or another product that you connect to your PC, which you want to use at the same time. Unless it's useful to have multiple keyboards connected, multiple Wooting keyboards connected. Any chance of a Wooting mouse using Hall effect in the future? What do you want to say, Ek?
Just a deeper side Wooting mouse. I think we get this question a lot, right? Making other different fields.
Yeah.
I think the answer will always be the same. We're still not done with keyboards, and maybe in the future we'll make different kind of products. But at the moment we're not deviating from the keyboard realm, and there isn't a mouse planned anytime soon. But who knows? Next year in May there's a Kickstarter for Wooting mouse. You never know. If Carl sees an opportunity and he smells money, man, then we'll have a mouse next year.
That's not how it works. No, but I receive this question also very often, also from manufacturers, like when if we're going to do a mouse, and what I find it's a little bit hard sometimes to explain to them why we cannot do a mouse at this moment, because if we do a mouse, we are obliged, like our brand ID demands us to do something a little bit more unique, or a little bit more, let's say, to put our style into it. And right now, our unique stamp is this analog input part. So people also expect when we make a mouse, it will have some kind of analog input point. And obviously we could also say, hey, so if we would just say, well, let's just ignore that part. Let's just say, hey, this is Wooting brand gaming peripherals, and we just make a mouse, and you just basically copy what is considered as a good mouse out there, but then add some of your own design to it. We could do that. I've actually talked about this scenario with somebody, but the thing that I would be afraid of is that it starts damaging the brand, because over long term it starts damaging the brand.
That's not true. That's a complete lie what you're saying. Because last week I was talking with Carl about a mouse, and Carl said, "No, I never want to do it because I talked so much about mouse wheels and scroll wheels that we need to make the perfect and best scroll wheel there ever is, and we're still not able up to the task." But at when the day comes that we invent the best scroll wheel ever, that's the day when we will launch a mouse. But until that time, we hyped it too much. We hyped it.
I'm telling you right now. For all the mice out there right now, the best first thing they can do is make a mouse of a good damn scroll wheel, because it's always the same complaint everywhere, that the scroll wheel breaks, or it's squeaky, or it doesn't work great. And the manufacturers all have the same stupid excuses for it. Okay. Scroll wheels are grinding my gears.
always.
But back to the point is that
Have a great week at Groesfeld.
Oh yeah, have a great weekend. It will break the. It will have some effect on the branding because most definitely what will happen if we make such a mouse, if we make just this kind of mouse and we don't have our unique stamp on it, and then it sells very well, for example, then the question is what's going to be the motivation for the next product afterwards. But maybe it's a bit overthought.
I think you sort of need to agree with the chat, because if you try to from the MX Master, the MX Master 2 or the MX Master 3 scroll wheel, those are pretty insane. Those are coming close to being...
You mean Logitech?
Yeah, Logitech from the MX Master.
Yeah, is that let me ask you a different question. Is that a gaming mouse?
Who cares? It's a mouse.
Yeah, no, hey, yeah, that's simple. It's that simple. You've always had mechanical keyboards, but was it a gaming keyboard?
Well, yeah, I mean, let's be honest, the MX Master isn't a gaming mouse. It's made for productivity, and also it's like a very weird shape that should be more ergonomic. But yeah, I mean, the shape is pretty, or the scroll is pretty decent on the mouse, I must admit. I think the favorite one, my personal favorite of scroll wheels that's out there, but it's still not perfect.
I have to say though, until so far, I'm not having any scroll issues with this Logitech mouse, the MX Remastered one, whatever it was, the OG, of which I went through 3 different ones because the cable kept breaking for whatever reason when I was younger. Reason I refused to get Zoe mice is because of their scroll wheels. There we go. The MX58. Oh my god, this is an MXQ mouse. Yeah, okay. So, and it is a gaming mouse. Yeah. But I'm still gonna make my point. Is that scroll wheels? Then Logitech just got it right with this one, or with the other one that was mentioned. They didn't get it right with my other one that I have here.
I think the MX Master has the nice scroll wheel, right? The MX Master 2 and 3 sort of have a similar scroll wheel system. I think the 3 is even more superior.
I think because that's the magnetic scroll wheel also. If you do the MX Master mouse. Okay, anyway, point being, back to the point being is that if we would do a mouse, then we need to put our full attention to it, and it will be something similar like we're doing the Lekker Edition right now, where there's this, it's just like a very long trajectory, where you need a lot of development time and R&D, which is the same, before you can actually have the product. And then we have to do major investments also in new molds, unless we do something like standard molds, like Final Mouse, all the other mouse that are out there. So it needs full attention. That's what it comes down to. What's the question about screw as a way? Lekker mouse.
Lekker mouse. I think
that would be actually pretty cool.
I think it's time. Tijd is op, jongens, helaas.
Yeah. Yeah, for me especially. Somebody arrived home.
Great timing. She was just waiting outside.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Oh, now we can go.
Yeah. Hi.
Okay.
Time to close it down.
Thanks everyone. Oh, Calder. Vlogs when?
Oh, here. Wait, Gotcha stream. I'll simply drop this here. Beating Logitech or coming close to them will require a lot of custom tooling and engineering. Yeah, Logitech is really goddamn good, but still you have mice like the Model O and Final Master selling a shit tons, and it's not because they necessarily have the best or greatest mouse. Okay.
But they do have the best and greatest marketing budgets.
No, not even. Well, Model O, not even. No, just pure hype and group pressure and controversy. It's kind of like YouTube commenters, right?
Live stream commenters.
Yeah.
Vlogs, Carl.
No, what was your question?
Vlogs when?
All right. So I realized I have a lot of administration work that still needs to be finished first before I can finish the vlog. So it won't be next week either. But I'll be working. I'll start on it this next week. Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your questions. I enjoyed it. Hope you did too. And see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yay. Thank you for joining.
Bye bye.